Well, let's roll 680X today. Well, let's roll back down to the towpath in Shepherdstown area. Mile 72.6 it says on the map. And we're going to go west. I'll go as far as I feel like going on the 680X. It's been a while since I pedaled without the battery. So we'll see. Let's roll. And that's what it looks like here. Not many people here. It's colder. It's about 42 degrees right now. Wind's picked up some, but it'll be a tailwind shortly. So looking both ways and cross the road. Up here, check the map out. So that's where we're at right now. 72.8 at the parking lot. Just across from Shepherdstown, down from it a little bit. So 72.8. So right about in here. Right where it's all scratched off. The other day, I was down here at Antietam Creek Aqueduct. And I went down to Harper's Ferry. And that's where I was a couple of days ago. So today, let's go back out. We're going to go from here, go across these all bends, past Taylor's Landing, up past Big Woods, Dam 4, in that area. McMahon's Mill, McMahon's Mill, whatever you want to say. And I may go that far. I don't know if I'll go as far as Williamsport today, but we'll see. But whatever I do, I can camp, but I'll probably just return back home tonight. I got an appointment tomorrow. So that interferes with that. Otherwise I would definitely camp. So that's what it looks like here. And beyond Williamsport, you have the Conococheague Aqueduct at Williamsport. Plenty of campsites to camp at, but just no water at the campsites right now because the water's turned off while the pumps handles are off. So I got a little bit of water on me, but also have my filter too. Okay, let's roll. And that's the direction we're going right there. So let's get turned around here. Those information maps are pretty good when you are not familiar with the area. Of course, I've ridden here lots and lots of times. But every time I go out, it's like a new time almost because I find something new that I haven't seen before. Let's roll. And there's the train trestle. It's an active line. Crosses the river over to Shepherdstown, past Shepherdstown. So this is 72.8. Almost 73 up here a little bit. We'll be passing Lock 38, where there's a small parking lot up here as well. Just before the Route 34, I think it is. Just before the Shepherdstown switchback to go up on top of the bridge and then cross over to town. So we'll see that here shortly. There's the Rumsey Monument up there. If you haven't been there on the Shepherdstown area side, ought to try to see that. I think there's a hill going up, but it's a pretty cool monument over there. Remember the steamboat, Rumsey's steamboat? Some old pillars there. So is that an inlet? Yeah, that's a river lock. If you know about these locks, inlet locks, dry docks and all that stuff. Share your information. Oh, I hear a train behind us. Let's see if I can flip it back here. Yeah, you won't be able to see it, I don't think, here yet. Let me flip back around. Yeah, there it is. Woohoo! Okay. Let's get back on the bike. Keep going. Looks like someone fishing down in the river. Got their boat down there anyway. Shepherd University used to be Shepherd College. It's over there. And I don't know if you see it there in the distance on the shore. There's a boat ramp there. It's a steep hill going down to the river. Over here we have Lock 38, and there's that small parking lot. So if you want to get to Shepherdstown, don't take that road up there because that's too steep. Especially if you come down. Someone, I think, was killed here. They ran over, they couldn't stop. Their brakes were bad. Take this switchback over here, underneath the bridge, this Route 34 bridge. Take that switchback over here. See it there? Right there. Take that. And that'll go up on top of the bridge. Not very far, but it'll go on top of the bridge. So definitely take the switchback up to the bridge and then cross the bridge over to Shepherdstown if you need to go over for some conveniences. I think there's a hotel now, home hotel back in operation down near the McDonald's. All right, so let's keep on going. All right, so I need to gear up some. It's too easy to pedal right now. Okay, went up to about 8 out of 12 gears. And it's a pretty decent pedal, comfortable pedal. I don't have a speedometer on me, but I'm not sure how fast I'm going. Got the hiccups. So this is 73 miles, 73. And I'm probably going about maybe 8 miles an hour. Slower than the e-bike, but not too bad. I'm probably pushing up to near 10 miles an hour now. After I get started, I don't really think too much about how fast I'm going. Just the fact that I'm moving, and I switch it down to whatever gear my legs feel I need to pedal. So I'm going to shut up for a while, and you can see whatever's here. All right, enjoy this if you keep on watching. Nice peaceful ride. You can see more of the leaves off the trees now. Colder. It's probably about 40 now, 40 degrees, plus a little bit of wind chill. But I have some merino wool on me that I'm trying out for the first time. and I'm not cold at all. I have to keep my glove off my right hand when I operate the phone here. Get a glove with a finger cut out or something to touch the phone, but it's fine. Like I said, I'm riding the 680X. It's all pedal, no motor, no battery. It's all pedal. It has the gearbox, 600% gear range, which is really good. 12 speeds is enough. They make an 18 speed too, but I don't notice the steps in between being too bad at all. It's just this loud rear wheel. Just the ratchets are pretty loud. I guess with the wind you won't hear it too much, maybe. On the 680X, the steering is really responsive, so it doesn't take any time at all for it. If you want to go left, right, you're doing it. There's no delay. Actually, you have to be careful sometimes, because if you go too far left or too far right, you're going off the towpath. You're not paying attention. But I have everything pretty well balanced on the bags, so it's rolling good. I changed the tires over to a well, 700 cc's is the wheels, and 58 millimeter width, 50 millimeter width. Yeah, I couldn't do the knobby tires, had too much resistance on it for me. But these smoother rolling Marathon Pluses, they're really good. So I mentioned I have some new merino wool clothes on me. The long pants and a shirt as my base layer. I bought 2 different weights of those types of that set, and I've got the heavier one on today, and it feels actually just a little bit too warm for that. So I'll go to the lighter set next time if it's about the same temperature. I say it's about 40. So yeah, it's just a little bit too warm. Of course, I got sweatpants going on right now. Just a windbreaker on top of that. But I do have another merino wool shirt to put on over what I have if I would get cold. But definitely the one heavy shirt is enough. Almost too much too. So I think the lighter set will do me well next time. 74. And I'm wearing, they sent me free merino wool socks too. Everything 100% merino wool. And I'm liking them. I've been wearing the merino wool socks for a few days, and normally I'd have to change my socks every day or two. But I don't, no smell at all yet on these wool socks. So, and the feet are plenty warm. I just got some Skechers shoes on, so I'm doing flat pedals. But my feet are fine. Everything's good, especially with this, on this Jones bar. This 2.5-inch rise, sweep back, 45 degrees. I mean, I think the bike is pretty well fit now, and I had to put a setback, I think that's what you call it, on the seat, so that got me back about an inch, where my legs now, they feel just slightly forward of where they need to be on pedaling, but I think it's just getting used to the different bikes. So nothing really to complain about. Nothing to complain about, really. See the dry stack stones in there. It's been pretty dry around here. Matter of fact, the river's down some. Well, I said I was going to shut up, so I better shut up. I like that holder there, that drink holder. Very, very convenient. Of course, it's got 2 mirrors on. They're very functional, especially if you're riding in a city with traffic. That little bag there is not very deep, but it's got enough to put a few things. And I bought, you can't see it, in front, an Orleab rack bag, handlebar bag. And it's waterproof. It's got a few things in there. So instead of a regular handlebar bag, I'm trying that out. I'd have to really pedal pretty hard to get up to the maximum speed limit on the towpath, 15 miles an hour, with this bike. I'm not going to say my stuff is heavy. It's probably heavier than some, lighter than some others. I'd have to weigh it again. It's probably 40 pounds, I think. Which I usually am carrying 65 to 70 pounds. I'm thinking, what's different? Maybe it could be up to 50 pounds, but I don't think so. On the front, you can't see it. Or can you? Yeah, there you go. And those 2 panniers, 13-liter panniers each, I converted just about all of my sleeping kit. Tent, sleeping pad, quilt, inflatable, deflatable pillows. So they're shared in the 2 panniers. Then my other stuff are in the back 22-liter panniers. Clothes in one, pretty much, with some tools, pump and all, miscellaneous, water filter, and the other one, just miscellaneous stuff and food. Food-wise, only carrying a couple snacks and a few pieces of bread with peanut butter and jelly jars. I do have my cook kit. It's just the 24-ounce Stanley cook kit, and I've got a burner, butane burner with one canister, probably about a third of it left. Enough for what I'm doing, and sometimes I don't even use it. Matter of fact, I won't use it unless I want to heat up some hot chocolate. Knowing I was only going for, at the most, an overnight, but most likely just this day ride, I didn't really pack too much food. I would normally have at least one boil type meal, whether it be pasta or something, and a couple other things, but I don't really need it. I found that my peanut butter jelly sandwiches, 1 or 2 for supper, that's enough. and that if I stop somewhere that would be convenient. These little runs are dry down through here off the river. So that's the old canal. It started in what, 1826, 28, and like on a July 4th, I think, or was that the Erie Canal? I get them mixed up now. But anyways, that's the canal. It's all grown up. It'd be nice if they could clear that and get it operational again. But times like this, when the river's low, I don't think you'd be able to put too much water in there. Maybe. They'd have to do a lot to make some of the locks watertight again. Used to float that river with my brother Dave. He passed away in 2018. It's 2025 now, about 8 years. We used to float that river in a rowboat we had. My dad bought a 12-foot Coleman fiberglass rowboat, but Dave used to float it even before that with his canoe, and he would camp on the islands that he would find in the river there. Like I say, I'm going a little bit slower because of the bike itself, I think. Pump handles are off. And that was Killiansburg Cave campsite, which there's a cave up here on the right in a little bit. I'm riding the 680X today mainly because I haven't rode it in a while, but also it's too cold to take a chance on damaging the e-bike batteries. When it gets below 50 degrees, if they cool down internally, it'll start to damage the batteries. They'll get lithium ion plating on the outside of it, and it'll prevent the batteries from charging very well, and you'll eventually lose capacity from using it during colder weather, unless you can keep it warm somehow. And definitely you don't want to charge it until you get it back up to temperature. So it's not really practical to bike tour on a e-bike when there's colder weather in the mix. Those batteries aren't very cheap. I mean, if you're going to pay full price, you're going to pay about $500, $600 each for a battery. Mine are 500 watts on the e-bike. Not on this bike. This is an all pedal bike. But yeah, definitely want to protect whatever you have. So I don't want to take a chance on ruin my batteries. And it probably wouldn't. You probably wouldn't notice it overnight in 40 degree, 50 degree temperatures. But when you get down to 30s or below freezing, that's when you'll definitely probably notice it. So anyways, on the 680X today, for multiple reasons. Not tired at all. Just a slower ride, that's all. Probably by half or a little bit speed wise. This is a nice little view here around this bend, especially with the leaves off. The surface is nice, rolling good. Haven't got up to 80 yet, 78. I think it used to be a little bit rough through there. We'll see. You'll see private dwellings or structures that you haven't normally seen during the leaf season, warmer season. And there's a parking lot over here, small one, with an outbuilding, drop toilet. That road, I see it, goes to the right, goes about 1.25 miles or 1.5 miles up to Sharpsburg. So if you take that, but it's a little bit of climb. How you doing? Good. So this is Snyder's Landing. Like I say, that's the road you want to take if you want to go up to Sharpsburg, back there. Get some ice cream up there, but you want to double check, make sure they're open. It's Sunday after Thanksgiving, so it's very possible that they would be closed for an extended holiday. But it's good ice cream. Keep on going. So we're about 76, almost 77 mile marker now. About 3 miles from the next campsite, right there on the bend of the river. But that one sets kind of low. Not that that's a problem, but if you load up and you want to try to get up and out of there, if you're heavy, boy, it's going to be next to impossible. So you want to carry your stuff up. But that's up to the next one. But milepost almost 80. So 2.5 miles to that, or 3. So this road here, it parallels the towpath for just a little bit. It should be 77 mile marker. Yes. '88 would be the McMahon Mill, that red building on the right after the raised concrete surface. So still got a ways to get to that. So what, 11 miles? Approaching December here, so we're about 3 weeks away, and then on the 21st days start getting longer. but his days are pretty short now. The sun over there is setting. It'll probably be set in about 2 hours. So I won't get too far in this bike today. Like I say, I'm out mainly to test it out, get myself back into pedaling shape. Not that the e-bike's bad, it does take the stress off my knees and other joints. It's all pedal. Just slower, that's all. I'm going to say 8 to 9 miles an hour average. So if you ride with somebody who's a faster rider, with all your gear, or my gear I would normally take, 40, 50 pounds, sometimes more, you'd be lagging behind or slowing them up. So if you ride with a partner or a group, I guess kind of know what your average speed is, because you don't want to keep on pressing too hard. That to me wouldn't be enjoyable. I normally ride solo, so I can ride at my pace, stop when I want, see what I want. But at times I do like to ride with people, talk to them. So if they don't mind going a little bit slower to match the speed like what I'm doing, about 8 miles per hour I would say is an average. Then it'd be good. So test rides are good, especially on a towpath. I hit a little bump and my hanger fell off, so I'll have to readjust it. In the future, I'll put a strap around each of the front panniers. Let's put it back on there. So meanwhile, that's what the Old Man Mountain divide rack looks like. So you can see it. And I'm missing my front fender I added. It fell off a few bike trips ago. I just haven't put it back on yet. Alright, so let's put this back on and keep going. Okay, keep going. That could have been bad if you were on a road and heavy traffic. I had my camping stuff in it, or half of it. Whether that was a tent, I'm not sure. One of those bags has my tent, and the other bags have the inside sleeping gear. It's possible I didn't have it clipped in all the way right, because normally it shouldn't have popped off of there like that. So I'll take a look at it closer later when I get home. Those are Orleab 13-liter panniers. It's got the quick release system, the newest ones. Bought those panniers a couple years ago. Okay, it starts to get a little rough through here. Not too bad though. This is where the river had flooded back in, was it March or April? It always erodes this section out if it gets up to about 20 feet, 19, 20 feet or more. Rips it up. But the Park Service is good to repair it. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get to it for things to dry up once the river's on here. But they've done an extraordinary job, I think. Still better than what the original towpath surface was. Double rutted, roots, rocks, holes. That's what it's looking like now for a little bit. If you've ridden on the towpath after a flood, you know that it deposits silt mud, and it is terrible. It'll stick to everything, and it's slippery. Oh man, it's slippery. So, 78. So just before 78, after 78, you got this little bit of crushed stone and all. Reminds me of the condition of the towpath on about 140s and 150s between Little Orleans and the Paw Paw Tunnel. But it's deep, but that's even worse up there. This isn't bad. It's just ride to know what your conditions are. So that was short-lived, probably 200-300 yards. Back to the resurfacing surface. About 78.5 in through here, about. About a mile and a half, there's another campsite. Horseshoe Bend, up there. Here's another section just before mile 80, before 79 or so. Yeah, just before 79. In a distance, you can see the sycamore trees, those whitish trees, definitely stand out. And they're along the towpath some too. Along with other varieties of trees. So I'm wearing a glove in my left hand. I'm not wearing one on the right because I have to touch the phone, and you have to have bare hands for that, fingers. But I really wouldn't need the gloves today. It's hovering around 40 degrees, I'd say, maybe slightly more. With the wind, the factor's probably in the 30s. But my hands are not cold at all. I could probably go without it, just in case you're wondering. Air's really dry. It snowed a little bit this morning. I didn't check the humidity level, but it seems dry. I'm still wearing just the one shirt I mentioned before with my windbreaker jacket on. I'm not wearing the hood. I have a toboggan hat and I have my bill cap on top of that with my helmet over that. Normally I'd probably need my bill cap, but with the clouds overcast today, the sun's not shining in my eyes, so really wouldn't need the bill cap today. But what better place to store your hat than on your head, right? Coming up to another lock, so I have to gear down. Gear down to about 5. It's pretty good easy pedal up on this bike. I'd have to look to see what gear inches that would equate to. That's how you compare bikes. Look at the gear inches, the number of teeth on the front, the back, and then times your wheel size. That gives you a rough idea. So if you haven't ridden much and you're out looking for a bike, they won't come out and directly say the gear inches is this or that. But you definitely want to look at that. If you have any hills, you want to lower gear inches, somewhere down into the low 20s, or even 18 or so. This one goes down to about just below 16 if I absolutely needed it. But my lungs would give out before I would need that gear, I think. Like on Skyline Drive or mountain climbs. But as you lower the gear inches, your top end speed lowers too. So you have to watch that. That's why it's good to have a high percentage gear range, like 600% on this, the 680X with a gear box. Regular cassette driven bikes, a lot of those are just over 500%. But e-bikes, some of those are only 300%. Mine is 380%. So my Priority Current e-bike, it's geared down to about 35 gear inches so that you can go a little faster or keep up the speed. But my electric bike, e-bike, it only goes comfortable pedaling up to about 18 miles an hour. Of course, I can reach 20, but that's really pedaling. So anyways, gear inches. You want to make sure you look at that. Calculate it if it's not mentioned, if you're out looking for a bike. Horseshoe Bend campsite. That hill on the side there, it can be slippery when it's wet. And remember to bring your water, because you're a fair distance from any water source here. And we have the river if you have a filter. But you don't know what's in the river. Sewage, maybe a small percentage of pharmaceuticals people flush down the toilets. So it's not like a natural spring. Coming up on mile 80 up here. So figured start out about 73, a little under. So only 7 miles so far that I've ridden. And that's probably my average speed in about an hour for this bike. Of course, holding the phone with one hand and the left hand steering, it slows me down a little bit because I'm recording, thinking what I'm going to say or whatever rolls off my head. So on the way back, I won't record anything unless it's something that really stands out. And I think I could probably bump it up 2 or 3 miles per hour easily. Again, I'm not tired. Yeah, only gone 7 miles, but 8 miles almost. Not tired at all. Legs aren't tired. Joints are. They just hurt from arthritis. That's always hurting. I sort of live with the pain. So sometimes, I mean, you're looking at somebody and think, holy cow, they can do that. But you can't see what pain they're in doing certain activities. But like me, as long as I keep going, it's not too bad. But next 2-3 days when I get off the bike, it's going to be, I'll be hurting. So, but you got to get back at it. You got to overcome the pain and keep going. Work through it. Excuse me. So you got to keep going. I mean, recognize your pain, where the pain is. If it's different than what you're normally going through, then obviously check it out. Check with your doctor. Go with your doctor's advice. So my goal today is just to get to McMahon's Mill up there at milepost 88 and then turn back. So if I didn't have that doctor's appointment, I'd probably keep on going to camp somewhere and spend a few days out. I'll do that again sometime. Check, see what's going on. So when I publish this video, normally I publish an edited, sort of edited, to get the beginning and ending marks out of anything like that. But I normally publish that with all my narrations, kind of like a long play version. And then I'll go back through and edit out most of the narrations to get it shorter. Because not everybody wants to hear your story, your comments along the way. Some do. I appreciate that sometimes. But then again, sometimes in a mood just for no narrations. So again, I'll shut up here after this. Got off balance. Tell you, one-handed steering while our video is a little tough at points. You got to keep balanced. Get off balance, got more pressure on your hand. My hand. There's a river. Towpath follows the river pretty much. There's a few places it goes straight through. Coming up to Snyder's Landing here shortly. That'd be about milepost 80 something, 81 almost. And there's the road. Comes in off of 65, Maryland 65. Up there around the Antietam Battlefield Museum National Park. That's a hilly road if you ever try to get back to 65. Narrow. Watch the low traffic that would be on it. But it has some hills. But if this would ever be muddy, that is one possibility. You've got 65 and then ride in the wide shoulders that are there. I think it's mostly wide. You can ride that all the way to Williamsport, or close to Williamsport. Then you have to turn off at some point. Lappins Road or something. Use your Google at that point. You have it. So yeah, coming up on Snyder's Landing, there's a place for a couple parking places up here. If you ever drive out, you want to try to hit certain landmarks without putting in a lot of miles to see them. This is one possibility here. 81 almost. Or 76.5 back at Snyder's, Taylor's Landing. You could do that as well. What's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? I'm not going over there. It's okay. Floods have reached that road before in the low 20s, 20 feet. Not at 20 feet, I think it has to be a little bit higher, but don't remember for sure. 23, 25. But it'll definitely impact, if you're riding the roads, it'll definitely impact the road up here if you keep on riding. Some of the low spots get flooded out. So if you ever caught on this during a flood time, all right, so that's the road that goes out to 65. So yeah, this is Snyder's Landing, not post 81. We just passed the marker. Keep pedaling. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Sorry, Taylor's Landing. I get these two confused. Snyder's and then Taylor's. Taylor's Landing, not Snyder's. Remember, S before T. There we go, if you're heading west. But they cleared out the middle and put all the debris over here. And we can pushed it up. That's the handlebar bag I bought. It's pretty shallow. It's only about 3-4 inches deep. Enough for some snacks. I set my phone in there, but it takes a bit to get it fully in there. And just now it just popped out. I hit a bump. So I need to look for a deeper bag. There's plenty of space underneath it. So I don't know why they didn't make it a little bit deeper. Other than that, that's good. Keep on going. Mile 82. I've dropped down to 7 on the twist shifter. It was about 8. As I mentioned before, I have Marathon Plus tires on, a smoother tread. The 80X comes with a knobby tread. They say it's a good, not real high rolling resistance, but to me, at least on pavement, it was really, I'd say about twice the resistance of these tires. I've used Marathon Plus ever since I've been riding for about 10 years, and I have them on my other bikes. I pump it up to about 55, about 60 psi. Which I think helps on the rolling resistance. Now if this is a rough surface, that high psi, not that it's high, I think it could go up even higher, a lot higher, but it would definitely, you would feel all the bumps at a higher psi. I don't feel anything right now too much. Of course, I have front shocks on the fork. Just whatever came on the 680X. Good bike. Already put together a good bike, I think. If you pay full price, you're going to pay around $3,500 plus a couple $100 extra for shipping, or sometimes I think you get a special way of that. And sometimes you want to get $500 off if you catch it right. But 680X, to me, it's a good bike. To me, it also wouldn't, I don't think it'd be a very high speed bike. But I'm carrying gear. I'm not using it like a true mountain bike like some people do. If they're backpacking and have even less gear, I think it'd probably be all right. You can probably go faster. But again, my legs aren't really built up for speed right now. So part of that's me. Nothing in the bike itself that's going to prevent it, I believe. It's just the power I put into it. So I sort of take that statement back. It's going to go as fast as you want it to go if you can pedal it. North Woods, I think, campsite. The water is back a ways, but this time of year handles are off, so there'd be no water. So pedaling a 680X bike, it's different. It's a gearbox, so all the gears are inside internally in the gearbox at the pedals. So it's a different feel than a regular cassette chain. This has belt drive as well. How you doing? So to describe the pedaling feel is different. It's smooth, but it's a different feel. Now that I have everything pretty well fit as far as the way I set, the handlebars, the seat set back more, wider saddle like the Brooks B67 I have, I feel comfortable on it. I don't get the pain in my hands. My arms are good, legs. At times I feel like I'm just a little bit far forward where I put my feet on the flat pedals, because the center of the pedal axis where it spins, it's about in the middle of my feet instead of up near the ball of my feet. So it's still probably, to me, an estimated an inch forward, but I've adjusted to that. So I think it's just a matter of what you adjust to on this bike. Now if you pop around on different bikes, especially if they're set up differently, you'll notice it more. But I think I've adjusted to it pretty good so far. There's just times when I wish the seat post would be about an inch further back further. But I know it's that way because the bike It's probably made more for mountain trails where you want to be up a little bit forward, I imagine. Wider view here. Well, coming up to about mile 84 up here, and then half mile further is the dam number 4. So is that Killiansburg Cave? Not sure, I don't remember, but it is a cave, and it's between 83 and 84. I think that's where the edge of the slope, the bank was given away over time, and they probably repaired it, filled in some. If your bags aren't evenly distributed on weight, it'll draw you to one side or the other, and that can be dangerous if you're getting close to an edge, or if you're trying to make a turn down a slight slope. Let's look at that crack in that rock. Sycamore trees. You can tell as you get up higher, losing the bark. Watch the edges if you're not paying attention. Gets a little bit deep on the surfacing here, almost like sand, so your tire will want to go with it if you're not balanced. I can start to see the dam in the distance, probably a mile down here ahead. I think we'll get a pretty good view of what the dam looks like with a water low like this. It is. Yeah, loose dirt through here, so be careful if you're passing through. It's 84 right now, mile 84. So keep your balance. It's the silt that's dried up and left behind. About a half mile up here. You can see it in the distance here. Hit that soft spot. About 3 inches of loose surface material. If you're here, you can see it. Or maybe you can see it. That's the road that comes in. Dam 4 road. It'll come down here and down. It'll continue to a boat ramp parking area past the Dam 4 about a mile. I think Dam 4 is considered milepost 84.6, maybe. But there's a road detour whenever it gets flooded between here and McMahon's Mill and a little further. There's a detour route on the road. It's a bit hilly, some curves. It can be busy, especially with if people are coming in, want to observe the depth of the water during a flood area time. But they also be hauling boats in or out on the detour. It's about 6 or 7 miles to the other side where you'd have to detour through here sometimes. So that's the dam. And we'll hit this hill. Most will walk it up. I'll put the phone down and gear it down. Okay, so I dropped it down to 1. Just under 16 gear inches to come up. It takes a while to build up your lungs on that kind of climb, extended climb. If you're out of shape, doesn't look steep. It'll wind you out if you're not ready for it. Parking lot is just over there, enough for about less than a dozen cars, but the road will continue down through there in the distance, and a little bit further is the boat ramp and parking lot, big parking lot, and a family area where you can barbecue, have a good old time. So let's get off the bike and take a look. Okay, about 3.5 miles to McMahon's Mill. That'll be 88.1. Then I'll rest up, make a sandwich, come on back. This is a good place for a break. Got that bench right there. Good view. So I may come back here and just eat a sandwich, a couple snacks. Okay, keep moving. I'm good for about 15 miles today, one way, and return. So it'll be about a 30-mile day on this bike. That's good. Now if I was camping, if I didn't have plans, I'd keep on going and camp up ahead. I'm not really tired yet. Just got winded a little bit on that hill. Okay. Back up in 8 on the twist shifter. There's a little bit of water in the canal. That's that road coming in to the boat ramp and parking lot. It'll be busy during the warmer months. There's a pit toilet up here if you need to use it. Picnic benches up here. I have to look on a map to see where this is as far as West Virginia over there. Can't remember if that's back as far as Grade Road or Grade Road's back further. Picnic area. If you want to look on a map to see what's across there, find McMahon's Mill at milepost 88 up here, and then just reference that, what's across the river. I've heard people call it McMahon's and other people call it McMahon. I don't know what's right. Another inlet, number 4. 3 is down at Harper's Ferry. A mile and a half from it. Okay, watch your wheels. Don't get off balance. When it's wet out, watch this crossing because it's concrete across here and it holds water. So it can be very muddy, slippery. There you go. I never have taken that short road there. Maybe on the way back. So about 17 feet, Mark, water hits this towpath right here. If this floods, this stays really muddy for a long time. It'll deposit silt mud. It'll be thick. Not as bad, I guess, since they put this resurfacing in, but it was muddy until they scraped 3 inches off or so. Then it became better once it dried out some more. But if this floods over, when it does, you know, just need to try to avoid this area for sure, and other areas. when it floods up here on this concrete raised section, if it deposits that silt, it'll be like ice. It'll be so slippery you can't even walk, and the mud is so sticky. Trust me, I know other people do too. And if you have a cassette derailleur drive, it'll bust your derailleur. It'll bust your hanger. But I'm on the 680X. Everything's internal except for the belt and the front rear gear. I think mud would still build up on it, but not as bad, I don't think. Yeah, this section can really build up with mud if it floods at about 17 feet. 17, 18 feet. If it gets deeper, the current, it'll just drop that deposits of silt, and it's very slippery. Falling rock, it says. Coming up on the raised concrete section for about 1.5 miles. This is about 86.5 area. So just make sure you have everything strapped down. Nothing will fall out, your phone or whatever. But if it bounces in the river, it's gone. I videoed this a lot, so I'm not going to video too much of it. Refer to my previous videos if you want to see more of this section. So there's 8 or 9 intermittent paths like this along here. Sometimes they get muddy, sometimes they're like this. After a flood, a lot of debris can be on here if it reaches up this high. Most times it's good. If you're planning a trip, watch the forecast if you can. If you get a couple inches of rain, and then a few days later, water down as it flows downstream can raise this river up. It's a good example of what's around the next bend, Daddy. Well, here you go, son. Do you hear that? That's an example of what's around the next bend. '87. Gotta watch those mud slicks. They'll take your front tire and skid off. Go down. And on these approaches here, keep your balance. 2 hands on the steering wheel, son. Yes, sir. That'll keep you upright. The flood depth varies through here from about 10 feet in the lowest section to about 14 feet on that raised section area. And the raised section varies too, from 11.5 feet to 14 feet, 15 feet. So if you're in a flood situation where the river is starting to go up, it may not be up where you're at, but by the time you go back, you know, couple different places, it'll be submerged. But that's between 10 feet will start puddling, but between 11.5, 12 feet and 15 feet. 15 feet, you better watch out. You're not getting through. Even 14, 13 feet maybe. There's a long stretch up here that if this is all 13 feet, that's going to be flooded for probably 100 yards, knee deep. But you don't have to worry about floods right now because you're not here. Nor do I. The river is definitely low. They use the Shepherdstown hydrograph to gauge the depth here. And then based on different landmarks. I remember when I first saw this for the first time in about 2015. Wow, I was just amazed. I didn't expect this. I didn't know what to expect of the towpath. That was my first time ever on the towpath, being 50-some years old. So much that I missed. My brothers had been on here throughout their teen age years and up. But yeah, I was like 53 when I first hit the towpath. Holy cow, what an experience. And that's been about 10 years. Hard to say, hard to believe. It's only been 10 years. It seems a lifetime almost. But I've done lots of trips. Up and down. Day trips, overnight trips, full trips, end-to-end trips. Some of these side paths are private property. And they'll post it if it's private, if they don't want you there. I just stay on the beaten path, as they say, on the towpath. I think that was the last concrete section. There's the one more. There's one more. Yep. That was it. McMahon's Mill is just up here on the right after this little hill. There's a little stone building structure, and I'm not sure how old it is when it was built. Just right here. At 10 feet, this starts to puddle up. This is the lowest section on this entire section here. And then up ahead, some of the lowest sections are about 10 feet. And there it is, McMahon's Mill. Okay, go to the right. Another 3/4 of a mile is one of the most gorgeous places on the towpath, on this part of the towpath. Watch yourself close to the edge there. More danger of falling rock. So 88.1 was at McMahon's Mill. We'll go up here to about 89. That's the only puddle I've seen today. There's natural springs through here, I think. This was reconstructed about 2 years ago. Raised up parts of it about a foot and a half. It's still the lowest section that floods at about 10 feet starting, but it used to flood about 8 feet. So it does help some. But the river, when it's up this high, what you see here, it'll be all ripped up, holes 5-6 feet deep. Don't go off the edge. That's a river wall right there they rebuilt. I don't know how you get out of there if you fell in. You have to find a low spot somewhere. So don't fall in. Look at these rocks. Good geology lessons over here. Beating me up one-handed. That was Lock 41. And Lock 42. Or, yeah, 42. Yeah. I always think which direction I'm traveling. As they ascend as you go west up to 74. Okay, I'm only going up here another half a mile and turn around. I'm going to go up to the detour path road. So whenever this is closed or flooded, you have to take the detour up on the roads. It's pretty well marked as detour. And there's the road, the path. This gate will be closed anytime that's flooded. Well, they know about it and they flood it, close it. So that's where it is. This is 89.1. 10 miles would be Williamsport, 10.5 miles. So I turn around here. There is a bench up here. Is it a view? Yeah, there it is. So that's where I'm going to have lunch. And charge my other headlight, because I'll need it going back. Thank you for putting these benches here, guys, gals. And it's lunchtime, supper time. Let's eat. Thank you for the bench. It's a very good, nice spot. All right, on the way back now. that's the bridge of Shepherdstown, Route 34, going into it. And across the river, right there, Potomac River, that's Bavarian Inn up there on the hill. So, parking lot's just a few tenths of a mile ahead on the left. Okay, going underneath the bridge. On the left, you can't see it, but that's the switchback up to the bridge. You want to go over to Shepherdstown. That's the river over there. It's Lock 38, and then parking lot's about a tenth of a mile or so ahead. The little parking lot's over there on the left. The other one is down here, about another tenth or two. And we're back. Railroad track.